parents' babies are coming on one of the worst possible nights. So y'all can stop complaining. What's good, y'all? It's your good sis Erica Vane coming to you right here on Erica Vane TV with another Sistas video. In this one, I am breaking down the season 9 episode. No, not even episode. The season 9 teaser, child. During the BET Awards this year, they ran a teaser giving us a preview as well as the this season cover art for what we could expect for season 9. And child, it is juicy. I ain't even gonna hold y'all. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. But at any given point, feel free to let me know what you think, what your thoughts are, what you're most looking forward to, who's your favorite character, and all of that jazz in the comment section down below. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe now, because I'm your good sis you love to talk TV with, and when it comes to sisters, I keep you posted, so you should keep it locked. All right. At the very beginning, we are picking up where we left off, right? Zach ran into Gary's office, and then in this teaser, we get to see him having a little bit of a tussle with Hudson over the gun. One shot goes off in the trailer. I think one or two are going to still go off that we haven't seen in this little teaser, and I think that's how Hudson might die, and Zach overpowers him. Now, the question that I have is Gary going to remember enough about his diabolical ways to get rid of the body? Because we actually get to see Zach and Andi free throughout the rest of the teaser, right? So they're at her penthouse, they're at the hospital at various points in the teasers. So we know they actually walked away from this particular moment. But how could you do that if the cops came, if shots rang out? We already have a Jasmine that's shot right here. If they also shot Hudson, it's going to leave Gary to kind of like clean up the mess. And that to me is a very interesting choice, but it's 100% a speculation. So y'all let me know in the comment section down below. Do you think that Gary took care of the bodies? Now, after we get out of that, we get to see Andi and Fatima. And there's a voiceover with Fatima that says that we just need to take a moment to process everything that has happened. And she's talking to Andi seemingly at the hospital. And I think that this is right when Andi gets her caught up on everything. This is after the moment that we get to see that's a little bit later in the trailer where Andi and Zach are at the penthouse and they're actually talking. I think that Zach drives Andi home from Gary's from Gary's office, and then that's where he actually maybe charges his phone or sees that he has all these missed calls from Fatima, reconnects with Fatima, and Fatima tells them Karen's in labor. So then they rush from the penthouse down to the hospital to go ahead and be there for Karen. We get to see Zach and Scrubs later in the teaser. So while he's like changing, this could be the moment that we're seeing with Andi and Fatima, when Fatima's trying to calm Andi down and tell her like, let's just take a moment so that we can process all that's happening, because it's a lot happening in this night. Now, this to me is really brilliantly done within the teaser, because we also get jump cuts to various scenes, like intercuts with other scenes that are happening throughout this particular time period. And one of which, or the next one, is Sabrina confronting Rich in front of Penelope at the juice bar. And it's unclear to me why she is still there, but it might have something to do with this storm and the power outages, because we do get to see the lights flickering on and off in the little juice shack that Rich owns behind them, right? And in this particular moment or scene that we cut to, she's just scowling at him. But later on in the trailer, we get to see her like ask this question that I absolutely hate, because it puts her in such a pathetic space. Ladies, do not ask the man why he cheated with this particular woman. It don't matter. He cheated. Go on about your business. Break up some of his and go on. They're going to be on my ass. They always like, Erica, you always telling people to do the wrong thing. Anyway, later in the teaser, again, we get to see her asking why her in front of Penelope. And I really feel like this is one of Sabrina's lowest moments, and I think that Penelope is going to relish in it. She's going to enjoy the way that Penelope talks to Andi, right? And she's so resentful for the fact that Andi attracts so many men to her. The way that Andi's put together, it very much so gives. If she could be Andi in another life, she would, and she's so jealous. So for her to actually have another woman look at her like, you have what I want, I think that that's going to scratch a little part of Penelope's brain so good, and she's going to relish in it, because something's wrong with that lady. And I hate that Sabrina is giving her this moment, and I hate that's how we're starting this damn season off. Sabrina, I'm gonna need you to get it together, Miss Girl. Now, another scene that's also happening as we're getting the whole Fatima and the voiceover, we just got to process everything that's going on. So keep that in mind. That is what's being said when we see these particular visuals. We cut to Danni at her apartment, still with Tony discussing his transfer. And then in the other scenes later on, we get to see more of that. And she's actually deciding that she's not going to go with him because ultimately he winds up asking, would you move with me? Child, we're going to unpack that a little bit later. All right. But then the last clip that we get in the moment that we're getting to hear the voiceover from Fatima saying we got to process everything that's going on, it's a clip to what seems like Karen in Fatima's car as they're driving to the hospital while she's in labor, because we got to see at the very end of last season, Karen was at the duplex to sign some paperwork on behalf of the salon and Roots to Riches and what they have going on with Miss Marie that Fatima is handling. She goes into labor. They try to call for an ambulance. Nobody is answering. They try to call Zach. He ain't answering. So I think that they decided they're just going to drive to the hospital themselves because she can't have the baby there by herself with Fatima. Neither one of them know what they're doing. So they're going to try to go to the hospital. I think this is a clip from that. Now, after that, we cut back to Danni and Tony where he says, if I go, she replies, you go alone. And this is just confirming for him that she's not going to go with him to Alaska if he decides to go ahead and take the transfer. And that is so interesting to me because you just got $75,000. You'll never keep no damn food in your fridge. What's keeping you here? You don't like your job. You want to be with this man. You wanted this man outside of his kids and his ex-wife who are all over in Germany. What's stopping you? What the hell is here in Atlanta that you cannot get in Alaska? Because I'm sure you can get weed up there. I'm sure you can get alcohol up there. And if the penis is going up there, why you ain't following the penis? I guess we're going to see in this season, that's going to be her damn story. I don't know. Now, the scene that I mentioned earlier with Zach listening to Andi in the penthouse, that's also right behind that scene with Danni and Tony at her house, and we get to see Andi say, I think that I should be preparing for anything. And I think this is just her recounting what went down, the kidnapping and everything, and how weak and vulnerable she is, how she don't keep her head on the swivel. Earlier last season, we got to see Fatima give Andi like mock boxing lessons because Penelope walked in and slapped the shit out of her. So I think that Andi, after going through this particular incident, is like really trying to figure out what she can do to better prepare herself and like guard herself against people coming at her in the ways that they do. And then I think that this moment is the thing that gets interrupted by a call from Fatima to let them know that, okay, Karen is in labor, and then they got to rush to the hospital. Cool. Then we get to see a worried Fatima rushing to Karen's side as we hear a voiceover of her saying, I want my doctor. And child, this is where the trailer starts to ramp up the amount of stress. The stress and suspense that we're going to come into this season having, it happens in this moment. Because when I think about Karen saying, I want my doctor, she's sitting in the damn emergency room, waiting room. She has yet to be put on a gurney. She has yet to be put in a wheelchair. She has yet to be put in a room. She's been actively laboring for God knows how long. All of the lights and stuff is going on and off. They're running around here like, yes, the hospital has a generator, but there's a power outage happening all throughout Atlanta, and her damn doctors are not here to deliver her first birth, which are twins, on this little bitty ass frame. It is giving all types of stressful. This season is going to start off with such incredibly stressful moments, and that is so clear specifically from this scene, but then also how they ramp it up with the scenes that are to follow. There's so many scenes that provide additional like intensity and build up on the stress. So go ahead and prepare yourself. This setting, like I said, of the thunderstorm that started in the season finale and now is coming into this season. We got to see that, or we got the note of that with Robin at the airport when the lights go out while he's leaving that voicemail for Andi. Don't forget about that, because Andi literally got abducted by Jasmine when she was trying to go and rush to Robin to tell him not to leave and that they was going to try. Cool. She still ain't wind up getting in touch with him. It's going to seem like, because aside from getting abducted, Zach coming to the rescue, making it back to the penthouse. Now she got to run down to be by Karen's side because Karen is delivering the damn babies. But then also in a damn thunderstorm, power's going out, doctor's not here, bunch of things going on. Cool. Then we get a moment with Zach and Fatima in the hospital hallway, and Fatima's holding his hands again, probably reassuring him. He looks very nervous and fidgety, and he says, I don't know what's next, and he looks worried. Again, they literally are just building upon the suspense with every other scene that follows. We get the following scene is something with Danni in her work uniform, so I'm feeling like this is the next day, and she says this is the calm before the storm. I have no idea what that actually pertains to, because there's also other scenes with Danni and like what seems like a little sweatshirt at the hospital. So I'm trying to place it, but this feels like it's like outside the realm of what is the container of like the first 3 episodes, I think, because we got to see her in like the red oranges dress when she's talking to Tony about not transferring. She's in this pink number when it's seemingly like she's at the hospital and praying and all of that kind of stuff. When she's back in her work uniform, it feels like it'll be a day or so later. So this kind of feels a little bit out of place, but the dialogue fits the theme of the trailer. So that's why I believe that they threw that in there. Then we get the scene with Sabrina saying why her, and it's just so sad to watch her go out like this. This is truly something that I think that she should not be doing. I cannot figure out for the life of me, like, your car better be dead, Miss Girl. You better need a jump, because the way that you were standing in front of this man's juice bar after you witnessed what you witnessed and he ran out with no shirt on after sliding up in this lady, like, y'all have nothing to talk about. You shouldn't want to kick it with, escape with him, do nothing with this man. He's been gaslighting you, ghosting you, doing all types of stuff within this relationship. You should have nothing else to say. You done threw his stuff on the ground at his little juice shack. Please cut your losses and go ahead. You couldn't even fertilize your damn eggs with him. You literally have no ties. Go about your business, Sabrina, please. Now, again, there's a scene with Danni bending down and praying, and I think that's the moment where she has like actually made it to the hospital, and it seems like she's in this like pink sweatshirty top, and you know, she's worried about Karen being in labor. Maybe we get to see Danni show up and be a really good friend this season, specifically to Karen. I won't hold my breath, but you know, maybe we hope. Maybe we'll get that. This is where I feel like they start to allude to like this being very risky, or could Karen lose one of these babies, both of these babies? I know that's something that too many people have been rooting for. I think that y'all need to spend y'all's time doing a little bit something better, something a little bit more fruitful, because regardless of how much tension and stress and strife that they show in this teaser, the praying and the kicking over things, I really don't think that Karen is going to lose either one of these kids, but I do think it's going to make for a really great start to the season. And the whole questioning, her not having her doctor with the power outages is happening. This is her first birth, so she don't know what the hell she's doing. She's a petite woman delivering 2 babies. Like, all of it is a lot, and it's already like very tricky for Black women in navigating the maternity space, period, because we are so unprotected when it comes to the U.S. healthcare system. We are so unprotected when it comes to making it out of delivering our babies, and we're 3 times as likely to suffer loss of life and or deep traumatic moments in the course of birthing our babies. So I think that we're going to get something along the lines of that, and that's why everybody is so shaken up and so stressed and so worried in this trailer, or at the tail end of this teaser. That's just my thoughts, though. Again, let me know yours in the comment section down below. Just keep it cute and keep it respectful, because people have actually lost babies. So y'all, when y'all are commenting, try to be mindful of the community that you're in. There's a bunch of Black women here, and you don't want to say inflammatory things. Regardless of how much you hate Karen, please do not just get in the comment section posting things all types of willy-nilly, being disrespectful and very dismissive of this experience that could have happened in real life to someone who is right next to you within the comment section and trying to navigate this community. Tell me what you think, but keep it respectful, keep it cute. Pretty please. Now, Sabrina does finally make it to the hospital, and then we get to see her talking to Andi in the hallway, and Andi says that we're going to get through this like we get through everything else. And then there's a quick cut to Zach and Aaron holding hands, and then they're probably about to pray, because again, I think that they're worried. Everybody is worried. This is probably an arduous labor. It's touch and go. Karen's probably scared and crying out and wanting things, and it's not moving as fast as it could be. There's so many moments where we're getting scenes within the hospital, whether it's like people standing in the hospital, or we're cutting back to Karen and she's like laboring in the waiting room, and you can see that everybody's like busy around. So it seems like because of the storm, everybody's also caught off guard, so we don't know. This makes for the perfect storm for people to make mistakes and for things to like fall by the wayside. So it's probably going to be a bunch of things that pop up, but ultimately our girl gonna get her babies and they're gonna be healthy. Our girl gonna get her babies and they're gonna be healthy. There's also another moment where we get to see Danni and Sabrina hugging someone seemingly at the hospital, and I think that this is Miss Lisa. It's a bald-headed blonde woman, and I think that they're holding Miss Lisa. We get a moment with Fatima looking so stressed at the nurse's station, and I think that's because she's really trying to advocate for Karen. She pulls up and brings her to the hospital. She's been there until everybody else arrives. She's the one who has all the information. We're getting various scenes within this teaser of her like calming multiple people down, but I think that she don't know, and it's also making her stressed as well, because ultimately she does want Karen to come through this. She wants Karen to deliver 2 healthy babies. And shout out to Fatima for starting the season off well. I'm really excited to see her in this particular role, because if you're going to do all this mothering like you be doing for your man, do it for another black woman so that she can make it out of birthing her damn babies in America. Absolutely. Give Miss Girl her 10s. I'm here for it. Then we get a moment where Zach kicking over some equipment, which I think is, again, to build the suspense, to build the, like, is she going to lose these babies? They're trying to build up tension for us coming into the season, trying to draw people into the season of, like, what happens to Karen. Again, I think that she's going to be fine, but that's what these scenes actually mean to me. Then we get a moment of Danni at a different angle with that same pink top on, saying, this is not how this is supposed to end. And that's a toss-up. It could be something about her and Tony, but then ultimately, I think it's something about this pregnancy, this labor, and what's going on at the hospital. I don't know if they hear some bad news of like the chances of the babies making it. And then that's what she says in regards to that. I can only imagine. And then we get to see Zach crying at the duplex dining room table, and he's back at home. So this is seemingly also the next day. So it's only like 2 scenes with the next day. And I'm just like, why is he crying at home? This is the only part that makes me nervous, because I don't think that Zach would have left the hospital until the babies were born and safe, and they were like taking turns to go get rest or go change their clothes or go wash or something like that. But he's crying at the table. And I'm like, what the hell are you crying about if she brought these babies in here? Brought these babies into this world safely? Could she still be in labor? But then I'm like, would Zach actually leave the hospital if Karen was still in labor? I don't know, but that's where it kind of like ends. And then we get the poster for this season, and they let us know that it's going to be premiering on July 16th. Those are all my thoughts, y'all. Again, I can't wait to jump into the comment section and have a cute conversation with y'all about what we're about to see. The teaser, I'm not even gonna hold y'all. The teaser actually looks pretty good. Allie and I have been doing our Sistas Keepers episodes all throughout this hiatus, breaking down so many things as it pertains to storylines and themes and character analysis. So get into that before we get into season 9. I am really excited to see this come back. Specifically, I'm excited to see Aaron and Karen and how they move forward with the building of their relationship and their family. Finger crossed we're gonna get that in this season. And it's your good sis you love to talk TV with. Let me know again in the comment section what you think down below. Give me a like if you liked this video and you made it all the way to the end, because I believe that you liked it. And subscribe if you haven't already. See you in the next one.